All right, today's low-priced stock pick that's setting up for a possible good trade is a household name. And I'm going to get to it in just a second. First, I wanted to show you from the chat room today, Macy's. I'm really proud of this call. I looked back on the chart and saw some support where I put the line right there. I turned the projector on and showed everybody in the chat room, hey, 58.50 is where I'm bidding for Macy's, the letter M. And look what happens. As I put in a bid there, it went to 58.47, and I swear by the time I checked to see if I was filled, I was already up 50 cents. They don't get much better than that, and it's pretty fun to look at. Let's just change to 5-minute candles to look at that, and it looks like one of those errant ticks, like it didn't even happen, like it just got a bad tick on the chart, and we got filled right there. And got a really nice move. Macy's ended up moving, I believe, $1.06 in our favor from the entry. And then also another interesting one today was CONN. If you've watched any of my videos lately, you've seen me talk about these shape into support plays. Okay, this one's already pretty beaten up, and then you get another push down. I already had this on Bounce Watch. Let me slide a little version of the daily chart over. This thing gapped up on earnings, and so about three days in a row, and then today was the fourth, back down into like the 8-day and the 20-day moving average. Kind of fill in the gap. I already had this on Bounce Watch, and so then on an intraday basis, you're getting what we call intraday shape here. See when it looks like the price and the volume are reaching out for each other? So you're already down big on the day. And going out on 60-minute candles, I like to look for the most recent support, which was, you had about three days worth of trading where it held this 45 area pretty nicely. Okay, so then you gap up on earnings and you're grinding down, and then you start to get intraday shape into previous recent support. That's a great setup, guys, and you can see what happened. I actually grabbed it at 45 and ended up 45.95 is where it went to, and I'm working on a new kind of I don't know, trading mentality that I'm trying to teach to the members in the room, where we're using smaller positions and wider stops to keep us out of the line of fire of the algos, the HFTs, okay? And so I'm taking more positions like this, and then you only sell for one of three reasons. You sell either if your stop gets hit, that's a given, or you sell at the end of the day, right before the close, because I don't hold overnight, or you sell into upside shape once you're in something. And this one actually met both those parameters right at the end of the day, right? You've got the end of the day, and you've got upside shape, and you see the volume there. So that's a potential 95-cent move in our favor. And we were only underwater about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. But we weren't very much underwater, and that one worked out. Didn't come anywhere close to the stop. So that one was really nice, too. And let's see what else. NDAQ. And this is the last one I'll share with you from chat today. But these were so fun. It was such a fun day. NDAQ, showing you 2-minute candles here. All of a sudden it gets a volume spike. And this is the benefit of trading with a group. You know, somebody says, hey, NDAQ is getting volume. Although this time it was me. I'm the one that spotted it. And we've got a couple of ways to play these. Since the early high of day was way up here, okay, so you don't have volume in a stock moving, ripping to new highs where you're chasing it, right? You've still got the high of day way up here, okay? There's a couple ways to play this. One, once you see the volume and you check out the chart real quick and you see it's got a ways to run just to get to the high of the day, you can just grab it right there. And it was actually around 37.40, I think, when I first called it out to the room and say, hey, this one's getting volume and it's meeting our Tokyo parameters, and it's called a Tokyo trade. Don't ask why. All right, and so there's one place to trade it, was to grab it there, and your stop always goes below where the volume started. Okay, so that's a nice tight one if anyone was quick enough. The other way is to wait for a lower high. So now you've got a high in and a lower high on 2-minute candles. Okay, and then go long when it breaks, the first time it breaks previous candles high. So, and I said this over the mic. I said the 2 setup is 37.53 with a 37.38 stop, and people who didn't take the initial entry that took it on 2s, 37.53, there's the trigger, and look what happens. Just went straight up and took out the high of the day. Went up from 37.52 to 38.18, really in about 8 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. A lot of people made money on that one as well. All right, I'll quit babbling about, I don't do this to brag. I do it just to show the kinds of things we look for in the chat room. And I can't emphasize enough, it really, really does help to trade in some form of social setting where you have other people that are also watching the market, and you can share ideas with each other, and you can spot things like NDAQ, which we didn't even have on watch. All right. Anyway, the call, RSH is what I meant to type in. Radio Shack is the one that's interesting to me. Okay. Now look at the daily. Let's pan way out here. Let me switch to weekly candles. This one has the look of, if you've traded any length of time at all, you're all thinking bankruptcy, right? I mean, that's exactly what it looks like. Back in 2010, it was 24. You can go, at one point it was 80. Of course, that was 1999. But anyway, now let's go back to the daily. And this thing, if you look at it back here, I mean, it just looked like, okay, I even told a couple people at the house, I think I told my wife, I think Radio Shack's probably going to go bankrupt because the chart is telling me so, right? But anyway, so it bases below $1.50 for quite a while. Then it goes down, almost hits $1. But anyway, look at the volume that's been coming in lately. I think there's been heavy call buying, so maybe somebody knows something. I don't know. But this is interesting. You got this big spike here, ripped all the way up to $1.75, then a lower high there, and it's just been chopping around ever since, okay? 15-minute candles. So there you can see the spike, the lower high, kind of a little cup and handle. So I really like it as a potential long. If you have access to the market on an intraday basis, up in this area, you could retest and really get running. It'll probably take news, but if it almost feels like good news is coming. So at this point, and this can change depending on if it just does nothing for a few days, I might have a new idea as far as the trigger price goes. But right now, over $1.60, you could get a nice percentage gain in a very short period of time with Radio Shack. So that is my low-priced stock pick of the week, if you will. And let's just really quick glance at NEON. I mentioned that yesterday, that I liked it. I thought it could bounce to 350 and then maybe ultimately 4, and it has great weekly support. And we did get a decent move in that one today. And that's the one I sent out yesterday for a swing trade. All right. I guess that's it. I'll quit babbling and we'll talk to you tomorrow.